Well, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain, or so the saying goes. And Heroic certainly didn't leave any lasting impressions. Meanwhile, over on the side of the Empire, they went ahead and won that out pretty convincingly on Mirage after what was, what, a 5-11 deficit.
Yeah, Heroic has to be kicking themselves for not finishing that off in time, really, and then allowing Imperial to get back in that matchup. You could see how hyped the coach was, you could see how hyped the players were. They were holding all the focus in until that last round, and then it kind of all exploded because it was so important for them to get out of here with that first map win. That's the only way they stay alive in this best of 3, I feel like, because the map that we're going to see now, Train, yes, it's a possibility for Imperial to win this and go straight 2-0, but I feel like they'll have to have a monumental individual game for that to happen. So, potentially 3 maps. And now, by having Mirage, they've secured that. They are the favorites now to win the match according to a GG bet. The question is, how good is their Train, Harry? Because I fancy Heroic on this map, to be honest.
Well, yeah, Train is a pretty good map for this team, especially when you look at that composition just in terms of having S-Tag and Mertz in here now. I mean, this has been a good map for both of these players individually. And then when you think about that double or potential split between the two of them, I think, you know, it's going to be a Dane Payne train all the way to map number 3.
They did lose against Ago on it yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. That was Train as well, right? It was definitely a one-sided result against Ago. I think it was Train. Might be mistaken, but I think it was Train. And yeah, in general, not looking very good on the map. Imperial, they have that one win against Space Soldiers, 16-6. And that's all. Heroic on the other side of things, with, of course, a double AWP mentioned, with S-Tag. Played 3 games on it, beat Fnatic on it as well. Definitely a possibility here. As we are just minutes away from reaching the pistol round, as S-Tag is just making sure that he can be a part of the huddle as well. Big tradition in Danish squads to kind of get this huddle going before the game goes live. Just talk about the last couple of bits and pieces, talk about the pistol round, exactly what we're doing, and then just finishing it off with, I don't know, I think Astralis does 1, 2, 3 victory in Danish. Every single team has like a different cheer to fire off in the end to get everyone hyped up, and then you sit down and play.
You guys are really like living the comic book lifestyle, you know? It's great, I love it. It's like all of Denmark is an anime tale, and we're just strapped in for the ride that is Danish CS. I don't fully know.
It's a roller coaster, Harry. It goes up and down, you know?
It is one hell of a drug, let me tell you. But we're about to head on through to Train. In my opinion, I mean, I think this should just be like this should be the return to form from Heroic.
Yeah.
That said, I do think Imperial could take the series now after how that first map went.
This man we just saw in the picture there, Esperanto, he's going to be a deciding factor if they can do anything on Train, I feel like. Him and Nuke, if they can step up to the plate, they have a chance of doing damage on Train, and then of that 3rd map. Luckily, smiles all around in the Heroic camp.
Yeah, I don't seem to be too deterred by...
You see it?
How, yeah, that was
1,
good.
2, 3.
I wonder what they say.
I couldn't really hear it, but usually it's just 1, 2, 3 victory in Danish.
They all say that. That's
pretty...
pretty...
You know,
ooh.
That's what you gotta do.
There we go, that's it. That sounds good. Well, let's see then. Will that chant be the good luck they needed, the thing that pushes them into a 3rd map, or will it prove to all be a load of nonsense? We'll find out.
Slope.
It's a Danish tradition. There must be something in it. Look at how well the rest of the guys are doing, Risk.
Yeah.
Do you psych yourself up with a little 1, 2, 3 victory before every cast?
It's kind of weird to do yourself.
I know it's going to be harder on your, like, just you.
Yeah.
You and Mark Winter, you can
we just do like
before every DreamHack. That would be so hype.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's too busy, man.
I'm sure the Swedes could get involved. Just get some of the production.
Yeah. They're a bigger team. We can join forces, as we talked about before.
Exactly.
The Union,
we've come full circle. Yeah. Well, anyway, look, there's the matchup on your screen: Imperial versus Heroic, map number 2. It's an elimination game, so potentially this can mark the end of Heroic's time here. But I think the more likely outcome is we head on through to a 3rd map to see what journey, or rather how this journey ends. Train is going to be the map right now, and we're going to be getting into this one. The pistol round underway, and Imperial over on the CT side.
Let's get ready for this one. Nuke already now with a silencer on his pistol, ready and waiting. But Heroic have not committed to anything just yet. Holding back for now, taking the initial positions. One flashbang, one smoke, but Esperanto peeks out aggressively. And this is the Esperanto I was talking about. Playing aggressive, giving opportunities, will not get the second one. If he got that second one and rotated back, that would have been the best of starts. But that's also the problem with an aggressive player. Sometimes he will go in too deep. And that's exactly what happens here. Instant refrag from Heroic. And Asilian still at the back, still the one with the flashbang and the smoke. Question is, where do they want to go now? Hachi is in the back corner. Why did that first one taking some time? S-Attack with the frag actually on his teammate, but quickly with another one. Bomb still not pushed out. Still waiting in T-spawn, so this is a sign that this might not be a B play after all. They are pulling the rotation. S-Attack with the decoy inside. And now smokes and flashes coming outside.
Yeah, we are about to see Imperial tested 3-on-3. Nuki here trying to hold his own. So many players about to come his way. Quick shot onto Mertz. Hasn't found anything just yet. 20 seconds, and now Power going to start to emerge from the woodwork. Nothing landing just yet. There's Mertz to break that silence, but Nex is immediately there with a reply, and Mertz is left in a 1v2 back against the wall, and it has to be a monumental effort from him. He's pulled it back to the one-on-one, and Mertz is feeling fancy. Heroic win the pistol round here.
You can just read him. Asilian was just turning his head. What was that? Ah, don't worry. I got this under control. You just read it in his body language. And he's also one of these, like, arrogant is the wrong word, but if you have, like, a positive version of arrogant, like, I kind of, like, feel like that would be the perfect adjective for him, because he will go into every single duel thinking that I'm going to win this. And it's very hard to shake his confidence. But when it gets shaken too much, that's when he really explodes. That's a problem, right? Because you have players who'll go outside of the spectrum on one side, but if they go on the other side, on the negative end, they'll also completely implode. So it's kind of like, it's a rough trade, but for now, it works out. He wins that. And now Hachi has stuff to think about. You guys out in the crowd? Bonjour, Montreal.
Just, there we go. You've been dying to do that, break out some of the French. You said you've been practicing it. Do you want to try and cast around in French?
No. Je parle un petit peu français.
I don't know what that means.
Peu. A very, very small bit of France. French would be the word.
Well, you know what else has a small bit of France in it? Imperial.
That's true.
Hachi has the
That's the nice segue.
And he's going to be keeping an eye on main with that. Not spotting anything out just yet, but the smokes and flashes have started to rain in. So quite soon, his crosshair might be filled with delicious-looking Danes, or maybe scrumptious-looking Swedes. Who knows? As Pound's tagged up, the scout not able to find too much just yet. Does tag S-tag once, but that B bomb site has already fallen, and that's going to be a tricky beast to try and take back.
Body perfect Molotov. Esperanto burning, but he finds one in his Asilian somehow, some way. Oh no, Muddy just get nuke it finally in the end, but now has to rotate away. Imperial, what's the play now? They have a scout, and they had the Galil. Now it's gone. And at this point, I kind of feel like if I'm Imperial now, I don't want to go for this. Bring their weapons into the next round. But nope, they're still going to go. They're still going to commit. At least one more player, so only Hachi and Pound surviving, holding defensive positions here. Oof. Finding Pound in the end, and now Hachi, last man standing, will survive, and everyone's going to be around the 2K mark, so no real trouble for Imperial. We'll have the Deagle into the next round, and the question is, when are they going to be able to get that first round on the board? Might take a while.
Yeah, it's going to be a little while yet. Heroic do have one more round of free reign. A chance to build up an early lead here on the T side. They're going to take that all day long as well. This being their map pick, getting off to a good start on the least favored side of the two. Kind of going to be eyeing up maybe 6 rounds, I think, if you're Heroic is what maybe you're hoping for. So getting 3 on the back of the piston means you're already halfway there.
Oh, SB silently has walked out. No one knows he's here. can walk straight into T-main and backstab 2 players.
How has this happened? There's even a man up in the bathrooms, but he really has dropped the soap and the ball. Esperanto's coming in from behind.
Oh, no.
Oh! Collateral. The trade's there straight away from S-Tag. But now, they've got men, they've got ghouls, phantoms popping up in the backline. A poltergeist problem, perhaps, as that bombs down. Freiburg tagged up, and this round could fall apart for Heroic. Man advantage up in favour of Imperial, and they're finally going to start to chip away at it, but it's still a 3-on-3, and you still have Hadji to try and get past. Nuki with a USP going to find one.
Not even instant refract. I mean, he's still alive here, still being a nuisance. Another duel that S-Attack has to win. Freiburg is going to lock it down here, but still a 2v2. Frax coming in with the Deagles. Surely it's going to be Hadji and Nexa in unison. On the back of that double deeg from Esperanto, they're going to take it. That was 1 Desert Eagle invested and 1 saved with the armor.
It's just, I mean,
it's basically free.
I don't even know if he waited for that or if it was just like the perfect. I mean, obviously he didn't calculate.
No,
he was given like the perfect opportunity, took it instantly. I didn't know the third guy was there, but still, I mean, two kills, that's all he needed and more. I mean, you can bet that got Neil all excited standing behind those guys there.
And it's also fun when you look at the coaches because they're 2 very different types, where Nasu is the way more analytical one, breaking stuff down, being very like inside the game, helping the players there, helping Asilian. Where Neil on the other side of things, just all about that hype, all about the confidence, the momentum, the motivation. And yes, he can tribute a bit, like tactically, he can say a bit, but it's not like the same amount, the same level that Nasu definitely can bring to the table. So it's more like the analytical versus just the hype man in these 2 camps here.
Obviously, Neil used to play a bit, then worked as an analyst and color commentator, so he has a bit of a background in the analytical side, but yeah, I do have to agree. You do kind of get him a lot more for the ability to get you all psyched up, all invested. And I think that's what Imperial needed.
Exactly,
in a sense,
that's why he's the coach of that
team.
Yeah, because that team doesn't need the big like tactical analysis breakdown that Nasu can bring. They need someone to just get them hyped up, because if they're hyped up, they're just going to push in with an AK and find 3 openings, as Esperanto likes to do. So I think this setup, coach-wise, fits both teams perfectly. They have a coach in that role that they want the coach to have. So let's see now. Double stack towards Ivy. Molotov doesn't work. Secondary smoke comes in. Maybe the push is going to come now. Pound is pushed back, but Esperanto joining in on the fun. Astillion with a UMP might have a shot now. Free frag, that didn't count on him being in the smoke. Gonna find another one. That's S-Attack actually stealing it away. Hachi still on the bomb train. 1 player now remaining, that's Astillion, 1v3. Gonna be able to make it. And fist bombs all around in the Imperial camp.
Yeah, I mean, these guys have been impressive today. We were all kind of highlighting how they were very underwhelming yesterday. I mean, I don't even think they can shy away from that fact. It certainly wasn't the debut they were hoping for. But here on day 2 of DreamHack Open Montreal, they're hoping to send Heroic home. This round, hoping to be a clean one here for Imperial. Hadji lying in wait down. Pop Dog. Not going to put the Imp back in Imperial and be a right little goblin in the back line.
1 flash on Astillion. That's probably for the timing to get the bomb planted and surprise Nexa. After this Molotov is burned. 2 players here, so if he puts a top one in, which is probably going to be the play, should leave enough time to get 1 frag and the bomb planted. Let's wait and see. Nexa. Flash is perfect for him, but he does get 1 frag. Second one coming in, then Nexa's ability to hold on during that flashbang is perfect. He is fully flashed, we can see it on the screen, but he still manages to get 2 frags. And very nicely done. Triple in the end for Nexa. This is the round, Harry. That was the eco. Here comes the buy. Once again, nice little view of the flashbang. Picks up the 2 first fully flashed, and then the third one is a cakewalk.
And I mean, here's something, it's like the double-edged sword of Imperial doing so well, you know, turning things around, is they've kept Heroic very, very modest. We were kind of bigging up the double orb setup for this team, saying that could be the thing that sets them apart. And, you know, maybe not the thing you'd want to bring out straight away in your T side. It feels more like a but I mean, they don't even have enough money for 1. So you've got players like Mertz and S-Tag, both very talented AWPers, unable to step up and rival someone like Nuki right now. He's been given free reign.
But then again, Mertz wins the 1v1 against Esperanto.
So it might not even matter.
Yeah, it's the thing with Counter-Strike at this level is that all the players are so insanely good. So it's not a lot of, even though you would say Esperanto's better than Mertz with the AK, it's only with like 2 or 3% because they are so close to each other. So there's definitely always a chance for someone else to step up. As attack finding Pound. The bomb has been discovered off screen by Nexa. He knows this. He has it on lockdown. They have to come back and get it, and now it's a free frag for the first. Mertz goes down. He's going to smoke it off. Hold the secondary angle then. Rotation coming in from inside. Nuki on his way, trying to help out his teammates as much as possible, but Nexa finds another one. The in-game leader leading by example.
I mean, he's not even leading at this point. He's pulling Imperial across the finish line, bloodied and bruised. Nuki going to drop that bomb. 30 seconds. Heroic have to get a move on now. 2-on-2. This was their round to walk away with. Nexa, he's caused them so many problems. He's going to keep on holding down the fort. Finally, Freiburg's out for revenge, and now they have to pull Nuki. He's sitting on the bomb. He's doing so much damage. Deeg out, and Freiburg's not ready. Imperial going to find themselves a 4th round. Once again, it's from the clutches of defeat.
2v5. 2v5, Harry. They managed to turn that around.
But this is over and over again now. It's been the overarching theme back on Mirage. Heroic, fantastic start, all crumbles towards the end. Then even you kind of think, you know, on a round-to-round basis, that's been the story for this Scandinavian team.
It's supposed to work, but it doesn't work. And then Imperial, it's technically supposed to not work, but then it works. It's a very interesting matchup. Now, once again, trying to go for the inner push. 3 flashes and 1 smoke. Smoke for either connector or lower. Flashes to rain in, but they're already getting caught off guard by Esperanto. 4 frags. Full eco. A feast for him, as he will find the last one as well. Esperanto, quick ace, easy peasy, eco frags all day long.
Yeah, pad the stats, pad the confidence, pad the bank accounts of Imperial.
That's just a train wreck.
But still, easy streak going to be coming to a close now for Imperial. The buy back on the cards, and now we see that AWP board out. Sorry, Mert's going to be donning it. Could this be the X factor? Could this be the change that Heroic need?
Definitely. Missed the first one. But on the other side, missed shot from the CT as well. It's just going to be map control for now. No real damage. Molotov lined up. Mertz has to hold 2 angles. He sees one. Goes for the flick. Does hit that second one. Esperanto goes down. Try to go aggressive, but Haji is here as well. Don't want to get that fake feeling of confidence. Nice Molotov onto E-box. Nuki finding one. Haji still close by. Finds another. Sprays away, but Mertz answers back.
Nuki gonna go to trump the offer for Heroic. Astillion desperately trying to claw her way back into this round for the Heroic side. Round, that's gonna be Freiburg, but Nuki's ready. Freiburg answers back. 1v1, will he be ready for next? Most certainly not. Imperial keeping this lead going. What a turnaround it's been from this team. They're fired up.
So animated as well. Like, it's so fun to see because the team...
I mean, Neil went from... You could tell in his body. He went from being sat down. He looked, you know, like...
Yeah.
Like, this was it. This was his last event. He's going to go work an office job after this. Like, he's done. And now suddenly he's standing behind the team. He's clapping his hands.
He's found that second win
this whole time. Yeah, he's feeling great.
Yeah, and to be honest, and we mentioned this before, but that's what the team needs, right? Because you see in their faces and their body language, they're not really, like, explosive people outside of the server. So they need someone outside of the server to kind of hype them up, and that's what Neil brings to the table, apart from all the other qualities he has. He is a great hype man. Get you ready to go. Even though he can be hard to understand, his intent is never hard to understand.
Well, Heroic are just going to try and go back to basics. The flat-out B rush. Imperial haven't been tested by something like this in some time. They got to try and hold their own. There's Nuki Haji emerging from the back line, and Heroic get torn limb from limb. Imperial, a 7th round now.
Nothing's working for Heroic right now. Even the rounds where they just want to get like the bomb planted and nothing else, they won't even get the bomb plant. Every single thing they've tried to throw out, apart from the great beginning, has been completely demolished on the other side of Imperial. And yes, CT side is stronger on train, but it shouldn't be this strong.
I'm not even sure you can say it was a great beginning. They win the pistol. Those are kind of 50-50 rounds anyway.
That was the beginning.
Then an anti-eco, and then that's it. You know, since then, I wouldn't even say it was a particularly great start, though. It's not like what came into it firing on all cylinders. Hadji.
It's better than losing 7 rounds in a row.
Yeah, that's true. But Hadji's already opened this round up, and it's Mertz to fall once again. S-Tag retrieving an AWP. Heroic, what do they do? Risk, where are the answers? Dig through your Danish book of knowledge.
Where are the answers?
Channel your inner Astilian. It feels impossible.
I feel like the play that they're trying to run right now is the answer. The inside play, but they need smokes towards connector. Why is there no connector smoke? Nexter finds one as well. And it makes no sense that they have this much utility and not spending it. It is very easy to line up that connector smoke and the secondary one. Oh no! It's done, Harry. They're getting knifed.
Oh, Hadji, you know, letting out a little scream there across the board. Everyone's getting excited. What is happening? And this is where Imperial gets scary. They're now looking to make a mockery of Heroic. They're going for knife kills. They're going for the BM.
There has to be a pause right now. There has to be a pause right now for Heroic. This is definitely not working out. Okay, yeah. I think that's pretty sure that we're going to have that pause. Okay. Basically, the thing that they wanted to do in that round was actually quite a good idea. I really like this quick inner push timing where you can have the smoke down towards connector. You can have Molotovs in front of it, Molotovs towards the side, and flashes to clear the side if someone is sitting on top of the trench. You see Freiburg now as well chiming in with some knowledge. But it seems like the pieces are not connecting right now for Heroic. It seems like every single player is kind of like not in perfect unison. Yeah, and I always think, you know, you say Freiburg chiming in, I don't think that's necessarily a good thing, right? I mean, he's got a lot of experience, but more people kind of now starting to try and take the reins. Either it's like a sign of desperation or they're just not trusting the calls, right? Suddenly now you're having, I don't know, maybe you've got your S-Tag chiming in with some, you know, some calls. No one's kind of, you know, you're losing faith in the system. And then you look over at Imperial and they're following everything to a T. They're getting the job done. And that's also one of the, like, weaknesses of Astilian in some sense. He's still young, so doesn't have 100% the mental strength of, let's say, a Carrigan, for example, to always believe in himself. And that can be rough if you're behind in an important game like right now, getting slaughtered. For Heroic, and specifically for Astilian, to believe in himself, that's very tough. Every single player who's ever played the role of an in-game leader in a team, doesn't really matter what level you're on, everyone knows the feeling, and I had that same experience myself, when every single strat you have just seems to be failing. There's no hope.
I mean, that's what even the folks at home can relate to. Even in matchmaking, if you're someone who tries to give a call, nothing's working, your team aren't listening, everyone's just ignoring you, it's not a nice feeling.
Yes, it's just tough because you feel like there's no way out. That's a problem, right? So you need some kind of like... That's why in this situation, if I was Heroic, if I was the combination of Astilian and Naso, I would probably go for a quick push. Something that can basically just go in and say, okay, this is just like lock off the brain, just go for a quick push, trust your instincts. As we do have a technical pause for Heroic, it seemed like there was something with Mertz's headset, but it's back on, so I don't think it's too big of a problem.
Yeah, but for Heroic now, it's dire straits. 9-2 for Imperial. There's still time for Heroic to get back into this game. That's something that we can't, you know, emphasize enough. It's still enough rounds left for them to feel the decent T side even.
It's just the way that they lost the last 4.
Exactly.
Oh wow, that's a pretty sick odds right now. Like, I know Heroic are doing bad, but 583. Hadji, AK-47 in hand, picks up the first one. That's the bomb. The bomb is down, so far out. Slow play is not working out for Heroic. It's time to pick up the pace and choose a different lane. Modi and S-Attack will now try to go inside, but the bomb is still outside. What can they realistically do here? They can get a flank, but can they still win a 2v5?
Well, It's S-Tag and Modi to try and get the job done. Perfect Scandinavian synergy. To try and roll back, channel their inner Viking here if they want to try and grab that bomb and stand a chance in this round. S-Tag gotta manage one. A lot more to do though, at only 25 seconds to get it done in. That's the issue. The flash rains through. Hadji looking to try and barrel through this smoke, and they're not ready for that whatsoever. This could be the double from Hadji instead. Nexter manages one, and S-Tag, so many players looking his way. He's gonna get decimated, and that's another round for Imperial.
They're looking very happy right now. You can see the faces next in the middle. Hadji taking a good old sip of that Monster Energy. He's been looking nice these last couple of rounds. Next especially as well.
It's ever since he's been having a monster, man. I'm telling you. That there is a couple of soulless faces if you ever did see him. Not looking too happy right now.
Very focused right now is Mertz. And Asilian now, he's the only one talking. This is the image I want to see of this team. Everyone obeying the command. I would love to see them run a quick play now. A quick inside play. That's what I want. Because it seems so far the slow plays outside are not really working out for them. Let's see what's the play in here. Okay. Getting in positions, not for the inside play, but still could pick the pace up and go outside. Asilian is faking inside. So they can pull at least one rotation. And they have done so successfully. This is the timing now. They need to go outside now. Outside now. Esperanto's ready and waiting now. He's in position, Harry. But he's not going to get it. The boost comes over, though.
Yeah, he's the only man there. Hadji gets put up on the boost just in the nick of time. But Freiburg chiming in with one more now. Pound deep behind Ivy, able to go ahead and get one before that smoke plumes, and now goes barreling through it. Well, gets spotted, but he gets information in return. It's a 3-on-3. This is not impossible for Imperial. Freiburg might have to be the beast that wakes up now to try and turn the tide. Trades there. S-Tag and Mertz left up. Find the first 1v1. Time ticking down, and this could be a chance for Heroic to break the curse. Time's already ticked too low. Pound's got no time left to work with. He's going to try and tap on the bomb. S-Tag's just watching from main. And Heroic going to be locking in their third. A nice 10-5 still possible. Yeah. That's not bad.
A nice quick pace, execute outside, basically with the fake inside from Asilian. He draws one full rotation and another one basically on the wrong foot, coming back into the bomb site. And then just good plays coming out, taking out Esperanto to begin with, because he was kind of like the almost like aggressive anchor on that outside position, holding down a position but very aggressively. So, and this is their last timeout. They have no more left now, Heroic. They're choosing to spend it now instead of later to make sure that everyone is on the same page for the remaining rounds. These remaining rounds are going to be a grind. Let's see if they can make it happen.
This is the only problem now. I mean, look, you can see there on your screen, it just said 0 pauses left for Heroic. They've used all of them in the first half. So heading into the second, if this kind of form continues, they keep having these issues. They're not going to have any timeouts to call, any time to take a breather. And the one issue is here, picking up that third round, leaves them poised for a reset. Came down to the 1v1. Not an issue for Imperial. They've got money to buy to the end of this first half. So we have to see Heroic pick this round up, or else they're going to be reset. And then the odds are it's a 12-3 half.
Rough times in the Heroic camp. Money's tight as well. Not full utility, and Modi has to go on the Mach 10. Asilian has plenty of money to spare, but not enough to drop an AK, so he's going to be a bit above everyone else. And here goes the smokes and the Molotovs for the inside play, but the bomb is not here. This is going to be the fake. Modi's taken out, and he's going to be the bait. Now here comes the switch. Hadji ready with the AWP. Oh, Pound has found a good position as well. He knows exactly what's going on. Mertz with one, though. Hadji's still alive.
going to go down. They have to try and deal with this man in the back, and it is just not happening. Imperial 11-3. The reset going to be felt by Heroic. Dire straits now, and Imperial feeling good. This is one that, I mean, almost everyone going against Imperial on this. Almost everyone saying, Heroic, we're going to take it.
Yeah.
I think this was the first time everyone agreed on the Analyst Casters and Twitch chat.
And I think most of us were saying 2-0 Heroic. But it's about to be 2-0 Imperial. Unless something extreme changes in that second half. Last round of the first half coming in. Hero AKs on a Cillian and S-Attack. Mertz on a single Desert Eagle. Freiburg on the same. Modi on the C set. Aggression towards inside. Nuki finds one. Nice little ankle flashbang, but only to keep the opposition at bay, not to peek aggressively. And Mertz is trying to do exactly that. Shoulder peek doesn't work. Cillian goes down. And now Harry, 3v5.
Well, Mertz discovered, dealt with, dispatched of by Esperanto. Freiburg and Modi left alive, 2v5. An AK, a little bit of utility between them. And for Heroic, elimination on the line. This seems unreal for a team that I'm fairly sure is placed 3rd to 4th at every single DreamHack Open this year. This would be one of their earliest exits, or it would be their earliest exit from a DreamHack Open event.
Yeah, and after such a great showing at the Masters event in Stockholm as well. Very surprising. 12-3, Harry. 12-3.
That is certainly not the scoreline we imagined when we look at this matchup. Imperial, what a turnaround it's been. You think back to Mirage, their map pick. It was originally a decimation by Heroic. They were up 11-5 at the start of that second half, winning the pistol. But then it all turns around when Heroic able to pick up one, not Heroic rather, Imperial pick up one Force Spy. They turn the tide. They turn the entire first map around, and it does feel like it's carried over here into Train. They're firing on all cylinders, and Heroic, I mean, I've never seen. Where's Freiburg even looking? He's daydreaming out in the audience, thinking about life back home. Freiburg, it's fine. Adam, you're gonna do just fine regardless.
We still love
all
you.
good.
Don't worry.
We all think of the NIP glory days, but this is certainly not how Heroic would have envisioned this matchup. Imperial as well. I mean, you think about their time at the DreamHack Open circuit coming into. I think Tor was one of their first events with.
Yes, where they did terribly.
Yeah, they bombed out last place, and you know then we see them. I think it was Summer was the next one. They end up winning that entire event.
You can see how nervous Neil is as well. That paper was shaking, Harry. This means so much to him personally. Like every single game, he inserts himself into kind of like the same position that the players are in to kind of take something away from them. Take some of that nervousness and bring it on his own shoulders instead. Next up, opening up nicely. Modi finding one return though on the bomb side. One man advantage for the T side, and they can now turn around. Or they can push in, whatever they want to do. Bomb has been dropped, but Nukia has found one onto Freiburg. Oh, this is perfect positioning. But Mertz is better.
It's messy, but it's going the way of Imperial, rather, by the looks of things. Modi's left in a 1v3 and finally going to get shut down. Bit of an awkward fight, but that's the pistol round going the way of Imperial. They are almost at that finishing line. They almost have knocked out Heroic. And these guys do not look happy.
Definitely not. I know at least the Cillian very well, a lot of the other guys very well also, but they this is a bit of a like simple phrase to say and it should be pretty obvious, but they really, really dislike losing, like to a very serious extent. Mertz especially. Hachi loves winning. Frags galore all over the place. This is just pistols for Heroic, but it seems so simple for Imperial on this T side. That was where Heroic struggled, and Imperial, they just run in. Take 1v1s, just don't care. Yes, they have the better weaponry, but they're showing no respect. At least like C at close range, that is dangerous. They don't care. Just run in.
I don't even know. I don't think there's many ways for her to get back into this. If they look so deflated as a squad. I mean, Mert's being one of the only people to really put up anything in terms of resistance right now. Freiburg as well has been doing a reasonably decent job, but this round anyway, Cillian going to manage himself one. And a second as well. He's trying to lead by example, but no one seems to be listening right now. Still a man advantage up in favor of Imperial, and that bomb goes down, leaving all the pressure onto your old mate Modi.
This is not his time to shine, and this actually like put something in my mind that Lopez was actually talking about back in the green room when he was playing for EG back in the days in 1.6. He said that they would actually go in with almost no strategies against teams that came well prepared, because it feels so annoying to play against a team with no strategies who's just going to run you over. It just deflates you completely. And we can see that exact thing happening right here. Heroic, good strategic setup. Cillian, great IGL. Good coach in Nasu as well. Imperial, they're just running them over like a train.
Yeah, no, they are getting ran over right now. The train metaphor is perfect. That's the setting, that's the place, the time and place that Imperial might have knocked Heroic out of DreamHack Open Montreal. Hadji looking to try and put the final nail in the coffin, charging on up, taking the aggression. Mertz does answer back with one. They still have so much more to do, and even then, if they win this round, it's such an uphill battle to get back into this, and they can't even get into the bomb site. There's only Freiburg left. He's going to manage one with the Deeg, but he still has two players yet to find. AK retrieved, time ticking down, doesn't have a kit. He has to go charging in, and Pound holding close and shot Freiburg. Gonna fall at the hands of Nuki. Imperial get the job done at 16-3. Surprising, I'm gonna say everyone. They surprised Heroic, they surprised the desk, they surprised Twitch chat, maybe even surprised themselves. That was dominant as ever. They're gonna take this in a 2-0 fashion, Risk. How do you find that?
Very interesting to say the least. What a turnaround from what they really delivered on day one here in Montreal, and now on day two, it's almost like it's a different team. Everyone's hyped up. The opposite can be said for Heroic. That has to be a very, very tough situation to deal with. But congratulations to Imperial. They survived to fight another day here in the beautiful Quebec region.
Yeah, and you know, Lopez really tried to sell me on rooting for Heroic. You know, really tried to get me going behind it, but it was all a scam. So now he can be like, hey, it's me, your brother, and get a hold of him. But yeah, I mean, honestly, that was not the Heroic I was expecting to see, not the Imperial I was expecting to see. In a way, I'm kind of glad with the outcome, because that Imperial side is looking fantastic right now.
Yeah, when they have that level, they are definitely interesting to watch. And people who are also interesting to listen to is the analyst desk, who are ready to break this game down.
Break this game down is one thing, but some of the breakdowns that we saw thereafter were a little rough. Boys, where do we even begin in this Heroic falter?
I honestly think that they just lack the individual skill to go through that whole tournament. I mean, aside from the, you know, very poor anti-eco plays, they actually had some people around the numbers. They're actually the worst team in the last month offline in anti-ecos, or last couple months. They're winning less than 50% of all their anti-ecos in the last couple tournaments, which is, you know, says something on its own. Lost another key round there with Esperanto flanking from T-spawn. Yep. In that game, you know, just like the key round and overpass against Luminosity yesterday. And, you know, frankly, their players just didn't show up individually outside of Mertz yesterday. None of them seemed to be playing particularly well, and Freiburg especially had a very poor tournament. Finished with sub 0.5 kills per round.
He's had a pretty poor run of form just in general on this Heroic team. But, I mean, you know, when we were talking about the game pregame, you know, I thought, yeah, maybe Esperanto and company over on the Imperial side might have a higher skill ceiling than some of the guys over at Heroic. But I had seen Mertz doing pretty well at the AWP for this team at his first event over at Stockholm. He's done pretty well here. Essa Tag's been stepping up to the plate as well. And both of those players actually did play decent, you know, at least on the first map and maybe through, you know, part of train as well, but just no one else really came in for Heroic, and I think that was a big problem. And meanwhile, I mean, Imperial, they obviously started really slow on Mirage in the first half. They were really struggling, then they came back, and then on this map of train, they didn't let off the gas pedal at all. I mean, you know, Esperanto was playing really well. He had a bad day yesterday, not today. He was back up to the form you expect from him. And next to the guy I was most worried about losing his form because he has to lead now, did not. I mean, he delivered absolutely as much as you'd hope for. I mean, look at the stats there between those two, both over 100 ADR for the series. Dominant stuff there from that majority Lithuanian team now. Haven't been able to say that before.
A very, very rough showing here if you're Heroic coming off the back of Master Stockholm into this. And and not even finding that sort of footing or finding sort of really anything to get going here within the second match for sure. I mean,
this is the first time they've had a group stage exit offline in actually a pretty long time, I feel like. I mean, they didn't even make it to the minors, so that was kind of disappointing, but all the other DreamHack Opens this year, the EPL finals, DreamHack Stockholm, always playoffs, but not this time.
Not this time, but this time we are going to hear from the Imperial coach, Neil. Hello, Mr. Neil. How's it going?
Hey, very good.
Yeah, but it appears so. Now, coming into this, you guys obviously weren't favorited, so perhaps we even backtrack a little bit further and look at yesterday. What do you have to say about your team yesterday?
I think it was really bad for us. It's our first kind of game on LAN without a booth, so I think that actually affected us a lot. But we just forgot about the day. We know what we can do, and we always have this, like, I feel like advantage against Danish teams. We always seem to come up best against these kind of teams. So yeah, I'm just very happy we turned it around from the embarrassing performance, to be honest, yesterday.
How did you feel coming into this game? I know we said we thought Heroic were favored. I think that's, you know, generally the consensus, I would say. But at the same time, some of your players have shown, you know, quite a good skill level in the past couple months. And I think on the other hand, that's probably what wound up, at least in my eyes, shifting the favor in you guys' favor in the series. I mean, you guys just had lots of skill, and Heroic seemed to be making some mistakes here and there, but really their players just weren't doing anything individually.
No, we prepared very well. We knew they were going to be the two maps. Mirage is obviously our strongest point. Our T-sides are always very good when we get Esperanto in positions like Connector and stuff like that. But yeah, we were very confident when we had Heroic. We wanted them over Luminosity. And yeah, we got the maps we wanted, and we prepared well, and we just communicated well as a team.
Yeah, I guess my question is going to be this, is like, you know, obviously you've been through a couple of in-game leaders now between Asilian and Crystal, and now it appears Nexa seems to be the one that's serving the role right now. And we know he did it very briefly in Renegades when he first joined that team. Didn't really work out too well. Hasn't really been known for being an in-game leader. How is it going with him leading this team right now?
To be brutally honest, it's a struggle. He's not a natural in-game leader. We basically spoke before last night saying that we all have to chip in and bring ideas. So Haji and Pau actually really helped Nexa in that game to get the best out of us and just take the duels and not be scared of them. I think in our first half against Mirage, we didn't take any duels. We just sat back on sides, let them do whatever we want. But our best is when we get in their faces and don't let them be comfortable.
So what are you thinking going forward from now? Obviously, you got your first win under the belts, but how deep do you think you can go in this tournament, and what was your goal coming in?
Our goal was top 4. But we take it one game at a time, like any LAN. We're not going to get too over-complacent. We'll take the next game, see what happens, and then, yeah, we'll just see what happens tomorrow, day by day, game by game.
Indeed, you will, and you will square off against Luminosity later. So it's your day's not over, but you're off to a good start, Neil. Congratulations, and we'll catch up with you later, bud.
Thanks very much, man.
Well, guys, you heard it right there. I mean, he didn't really hold back when it came to
that's great. Yeah,
describing
I like that.
his team there and just sort of the turmoil that they're having. I mean, we could talk a little about Nexa and the comments he had within calling. Tommy, from your experience, talk to me about what sort of rhythm or what kind of hope they can usually try to find here when it comes down to the in-game leader problems.
I mean, the problem with that for most teams, I think, is always the fact that you need to have someone who actually commits to doing that. And I think that's where most people struggle, is they say, you know, I'll give it a try, and they'll do it for a month, they'll do it for a couple events. Either it works or it doesn't. Most of the time it doesn't. And part of that is people just don't commit to it. It's usually something that's not going to come to people fast. You know, it takes quite a while to sort of get to that point where most of that thinking is actually subconscious. Yeah. Because I think that's where it affects people's individual level, is when you actually actively have to be thinking about what you want to be doing. All of that kind of has to be happening subconsciously and just sort of coming to you during freeze time. And I think part of the problem is these people, they say, like, fine, I'll give it a go. And if it doesn't go right the first time, or if they have a couple bad halves, they're just going to think like, well, you know, if I wasn't calling, I'd be doing a lot better. Right. And as soon as they get, you know, off on that start, it's really hard to reverse and start saying like, well, you know what, I'm going to, you know, keep doing it anyway and just, you know, see if I can make it work.
And I think the big problem is that it just kind of confines you into only really being able to play like very basic Counter-Strike, or relying on like just doing faster paced executes where there's not a lot of thinking that has to go on in the mid round. And so it's essentially, if like plan A doesn't work, where you're leveraging your skill and just playing like a more aggressive or a loose style, or just playing basics, then you have like no plan B to fall back to. I mean, obviously you can kind of rely on your coach to help you out with that, but to a degree, like eventually you have to start making tough mid-round decisions, and if you don't have an experienced guy to be able to do that, then that means that your long-form goals are not going to go very well.
And I was actually just checking just now on my phone, and I actually had the scores wrong. It was 16-13, 16-3, but I only knew that because of the Strafe Esports app. And in fact, you could get that same app yourself. Yeah, I mean, I tried. You know, head over to the Google Play Store, the Apple App Store, and download the Strafe Esports app. Or if you want to check it out before you do it, head over to www.strafe.com and check this app out for yourself. Dust, do you have anything you want to add on top of the app?
It's a great app. I mean, what can I say? Strafe on over to the App Store.
There you go. That was not bad. Strafe on over to the App Store. We're going to strafe on into a break before we get into our next matchup. A little bit of Red Reserve facing the boys of Kingman, who have already found a little bit of success today. Again, though, the back's against the wall of both of these teams as they are elimination games. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.